Hello students, how are you? We are back again after summer vacations with a new chapter now, chapter number 3 from Gathering to Growing Food, lecture 1, History. Today we will study this chapter in history, that is from Gathering to Growing Food. Okay children? Children, this is chapter number 3 from Gathering to Growing Food, and in this chapter we are going to study about varieties of foods. As we are all eating today varieties of fruits, vegetables, food. So now in this chapter also we will see that from where do these fruits, vegetables and food come from. Today most of our food such as fruits, vegetables, grain, milk and meat comes from plants that are grown and animals that are reared. Different plants grow in different conditions. Rice, for example, requires more water than wheat and barley. This explains why farmers grow some crops in some areas and not in the other areas. That means we are eating variety of food such as fruit and vegetables, but different plants need different conditions. For example, the rice requires more water than wheat and barley. This explains that why farmers grow some crops in some areas and not in other areas. Also in different seasons, different crops are grown. Different animals too prefer different environments. For instance, sheep and goat can survive more easily than cattle in dry, hilly environments. But as you saw in chapter 2, that was on the trail of the earliest people, women and men did not always produce their own food. That time they used to gather the food. They were hunters. They used to hunt the animals and they used to gather the food for themselves. But now as time changed, different situations have been changed and they have started becoming the perfect herders. Okay, and they have became farmers also. The beginning of farming and herding. Now we have seen in chapter 2 that the climate of the world was changing and so were plants and animals that people used as food. Now in that chapter we have studied in chapter 2 that the climate was changing, the environment was changing and people have slowly started doing farming and they have started sowing the seeds and growing crops. Men, women and children probably observed several things: the places where edible plants were found, how seeds broke off stalks, fell on the ground and new plants sprouted from them. All these things they have seen, that how the edible plants were found, how the seeds they were just broken off from the stalks and they fell on the ground, and as soon as they fell on the ground the new plant was sprouted from them. Perhaps they began looking after plants, protecting them from birds and animals so that they could grow and the seeds could ripen. In this way, people became farmers. Women, men, and children could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. Now, women and children, men and children, they also started taming the animals. How? They used to leave the food for them near their shelters where they used to live. The animals used to come, they used to eat, and slowly they started keeping the animals also with them. They started rearing the animals for the milk, for meat, all these things. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the camps where they lived. These animals, such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig, lived in herds and most of them ate grass. Often, people protected these animals from attacks by other wild animals. This is how they became herders. Now, slowly, they started keeping the sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig who used to live in the herds, and they became perfect herders. Now, domestication. Domestication is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Very often, plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. Now, domestication is what? It is a process in which people grow plants and they look after animals. They keep the plants and animals that are tended by people different from the wild plants and animals. Why they used to keep it? For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease. If any plant or any animal is having any disease, they never used to take it for domestication. They used to keep them differently. They also select plants that yield large size grain and have strong stalks capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain. Seeds from selected plants are preserved and sown to ensure that new plant and seeds will have the same qualities. Now different seeds, they were selected from the plants and they were preserved and sown so that new plants and seeds should have the same qualities. Amongst animals, those that are relatively gentle are selected for breeding. Now, amongst the animals that were relatively gentle, they were selected for breeding. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants become different from wild animals and plants. For example, the teeth and horns of wild animals are usually much larger than those of the domesticated animals. This was the ways in which grain was used. Grain was used as seed, as food, as gifts, and stored for food. Now this is the grain, and it can be used as a seed also. It can be used as a food. It can be used as gifts to give someone one another, because that time the money was not there, currency was not there, so they used this only as a gift to give one another the gift. Stored for food. This was stored as for food. Now a new way of life came in the people of that time. If you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and in some cases years. When people began growing plants, it meant that they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after the plants, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds, till the grain ripened. Now once they have started sowing the plant and growing the plants and planting the seed, they noticed that they had to stay at the same place to look after that seed, because that seed does not develop in one day only. It can take several days, weeks, months, and in some cases it takes years also. So for that, they had done the permanent settlement over there only, just to look after that seed, to water the seed, to weed, to drive away the animals and birds till the grain is ripened. And then the grain had to be used carefully. Now once the grain has been ripened, the problem of storing came in front of them, that where they should store that grain. As grain had to be stored for both food and seed, people had to think of ways of storing it. In many areas, they began making large clay pots or wove baskets or dug pits into the ground. Now in many areas, they started making the clay pots, they wove baskets, they dug pits in the ground. They start making the clay pots so that the grain should be stored. If it will not be stored, then what will happen? It will be spoiled. Next topic is storing animals. Animals multiply naturally. Besides, if they are looked after carefully, they provide milk, which is an important source of food and meat whenever required. In other words, animals that are reared can be used as a store of food. Now animals which we use for rearing, they can be used for as a store of food. Our next topic is finding out about the first farmers and herders. Now how can we find about the first farmers and herders? Now turn to map 2 on page number 14. Now on page number 14 we are going to see, okay, you can see this map. Now you can see these blue squares. These blue squares are certain sites where archaeologists have found the evidence of the first farmers and herders. So these were the sites where they have found the first settlement, like Burzahum, Mehergarh, Daujali Heading, Chiran, Koldiva, Halur, Payampally, Mahagarh. These are all the sites where they have found the settlement of the herders. How can you say that archaeologists can say that how they have found the evidence of the first farmers and herders? So for this we have seen in the map which was on page number 14. I have shown you the sites. Each marks a site from where archaeologists have found evidence of early farmers and herders. As I have already told you, these are found all over the subcontinent. Some of the most important ones are the northwest, in present day Kashmir, Mehergarh we can say, and in east and south India. Now, to find out whether these sites were settlements of farmers and herders, scientists study evidence. When they will study, we come to the work of archaeologists is just to dig from the ground the evidences and to find about the past. One of the most exciting finds includes remains of burnt grain. These may have been burnt accidentally or on purpose. Scientists can identify these grains, and so we know that a number of crops were grown in different parts of the subcontinent. Now, as we came to know about the grains, some of the ashes, some of the exciting finds of the grains were found that time. So from that we can think that time different types of grains were used, different types of number of crops were grown in that time, in that period, in the subcontinent, and with these evidences only we can come to know all these things. They can also identify the bones of different animals. Now a table is given to you. Look at the table below to see where evidence of grain and bones of domesticated animals have been found. Now you can see this table. This is the table of grain and bones and the sites. Grain and bones, wheat, barley, sheep, goat, cattle, and the sites are Mehergarh in present day Pakistan. Second is rice, fragmentary animal bones, Koldhiwa in present day Uttar Pradesh. Rice cattle, hoof marks on clay surface, Mahagarh in present day Uttar Pradesh. Wheat and lentil, Gufral in present day Kashmir. Wheat and lentil dog, cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, Burzaham in present day Kashmir. Wheat, green gram, barley, buffalo, ox, Chiran in present day Bihar. Millet, cattle, sheep, goat, pig, Halur in present day Andhra Pradesh. Black gram, millet, cattle, sheep, pig, Payampali in present day Andhra Pradesh. So these are just some of the sites from which grain and bones have been found. Now through this table you can come to know many things about the grain, bones and the different sites. Next topic is towards a settled life. Now we will study this topic in the next lecture. For today, this much only. Read the chapter thoroughly once again. Stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you for watching.